There was no declaration of war, no invasion headlines, no battlefield maps. And yet, by the early 1900s, millions were dead. Not because of famine, not because of disease alone, but because a single man turned an entire country into a machine, designed to extract wealth and discard human life. This is not ancient history. This is not myth. This happened in plain sight. While the world applauded, the king with no army, King Leopold II of Belgium, never set foot in the land he ruled. He did not conquer it with soldiers. He did not win it through war. He acquired it through paperwork. At international conferences, Leopold presented himself as a humanitarian, a man bringing civilization, a man ending slavery. What he was actually doing was creating the largest private colony in history, the Congo Free State. It belonged to him. Personally, a country rebranded as a project. Leopold did not call it an empire. He called it a mission to bring Christianity, trade, progress. In reality, it was a business venture. Rubber, ivory, profit, and the Congolese people were not citizens. They were raw material. The system of quotas. Villages were given quotas. Produce this much rubber, or face consequences. There was no negotiation, no explanation. Failure meant punishment, and punishment was not symbolic. It was systematic. HOSTAGS as management. To enforce quotas, Leopold's agents took hostages. Women, children, elders. They were held until villages met production targets. If the rubber was late, the hostages suffered. This was not chaos. This was policy. The hands. Morel's book documents something that shocked Europe. Soldiers were required to present severed hands. Hands were proof that bullets were not wasted, that killings were justified. But hands became currency. Men were killed not for rebellion, but for accounting. Sometimes hands were taken from the living. Terror as efficiency. Fear worked better than chains. Villages learned quickly. Rubber production increased. Deaths increased faster. Forests emptied of people. Rivers carried bodies. This was not collapse. This was optimization. The lie sold to the world. In Europe, Leopold was celebrated. Newspapers praised his generosity. Statues were erected. Funds were raised. Photographs told another story. But photographs were dismissed. The victims were far away. And profit was close. The WHISTLEBLOWRS. A few men refused silence. Missionaries, journalists, former officials. E.D. Morel was one of them. He followed shipping records. Weapons went in. Rubber came out. No trade goods returned. That was not commerce. That was extraction. Denial and delay. Leopold denied everything. He hired public relations campaigns. He attacked critics. He delayed investigations. Every year of delay meant more deaths. Silence was profitable. Truth was expensive. When the world could no longer look away. Eventually, evidence overwhelmed denial. Photographs, testimonies, reports. The world was forced to acknowledge the truth. Not because of morality, but because the lie became inconvenient. The aftermath without justice. Leopold lost control of the Congo, but he was never punished. No trial, no prison, no apology. He died wealthy. The land he destroyed inherited the trauma. Why this story was softned. Textbooks simplified it. They removed numbers, methods, responsibility. They turned genocide into mismanagement. Because naming crimes names criminals, and history protects power. Final reflection: this was not ancient brutality. It was modern administration. Spreadsheets, quotas, deadlines, and millions vanished. Not because the world didn't know, but because the world decided knowing was optional.